to Your Powerful Legacy TV. My name is 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗀𝗃, and I'm joined today by Kristina 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃 and Rob 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃 of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. Kristina, how are you today?
Wonderful. Great to be here with you always, Cynthia.
It's so great to be here with you. I'm so excited about today's show. And Rob, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thank you.
It's so good to have both of you in the studio. I know that you've been so incredibly busy, and you always take the time to come in and to do the shows, and I know the viewers are really resonating with a lot of the information that you're sharing with them right now. So Kristina, big topic for today that is on everyone's mind, and obviously at every water cooler around the country, is inflation and how that's impacting all of us. So I have to ask you, are you hearing a lot of clients come in right now asking you questions about how to deal with inflation?
Absolutely. I actually have a fun little story about that. I've got some clients that came into the office and we were just doing their annual review, you know, nothing really major, but they had their grandchild with them. The grandchild knew what inflation was and was literally 4 years old.
No.
Yes. So if everybody's truly talking about it, everybody's talking about inflation right now. We know that this is something that's important to you, so we're going to talk about what that means for you in retirement and even before retirement.
Sure. And Rob, I know you probably notice inflation even when you go to the gas station to get gas or to go to the grocery store to pick up something for Kristina. Let's talk a little bit about that. Are you seeing just an increase overall in grocery prices?
Well, grocery prices, we typically will buy in bulk to try to offset some of those costs. But yes, absolutely. And if we look at the inflation percentages right now, it's much more for some people because you're either buying groceries. We have 5 people in our household plus 2 others that we feed on a daily basis. And it gets to be quite a bit. And it's a big shock when you go back and look over the month after month and how much things have increased versus what they are right now.
Oh, let's bring it down to what it really is. We have 3 boys. So, you know, they have a hollow leg. They eat all the time, which I love. And, you know, just planning family meals has become different. We do truly have to be a little bit more vigilant with what we're spending just because things are so much more expensive. And across the board, utilities have gone up and your food, your fuel, medications, all of those type of things. But insurance has become much more expensive. So for those that are in retirement and they're dealing with their Medicare supplements, and then also those that are dealing with even just their auto and their home insurance. You know, Kentucky has suffered some major disasters over the last year or two between the tornadoes in western Kentucky and the floods in eastern Kentucky, and the insurance rates by band have just increased so much that people are seeing a 15 to 20% increase. That's a really big dent in the budget for something that you've just got to have.
It definitely is. And when you think about that, because you're both so passionate, obviously, you have a lot of people that come into the office that want to speak with you and to develop a plan for retirement, if you will. But if someone is already in the retirement years right now, Kristina, what sort of guardrails can you help them put up to help hedge against some of this inflation that we're seeing as a country?
Well, first off, with your retirement strategy, if you have not built in inflation, you're missing out. That's a huge factor. And I want to give just a little bit of math here. If you take just 2% inflation over a 10-year period of time, that's 20%. Your money is worth 20% less in 10 years just by sitting still. This is very serious that we take that into account when we're dealing with your retirement strategy. So for those of you that are pre-retirees, obviously we're going to talk about what's coming in the future. For those of you that are already retired, we have all sorts of money-saving strategies available for you right in our firm to make sure that you're going to beat inflation and have the best retirement.
Kristina, do you have any client stories to share this morning with our viewers of people that have come in recently that have been directly impacted by this?
Yes, unfortunately, I do have several clients that are diabetic, and I've got a lady right now that she's battling being able to afford her medication versus paying her utilities ever so simply. And that's just not a position that we want to be in. And it's not that we couldn't account for that, but unfortunately, she had to retire. She didn't want to retire, but she had to. So having to take care of these expenses every day, this is a very real situation. And again, we're going to deal with that up front. That's going to be part of your strategy. So you know that you're going to be successful during your retirement, that you're going to have that inflation dealt with.
So we see this on a daily basis, and you know, look at different medications, or some we're up in terms of $400 or $500 a month for some people. Who can afford that?
Right.
Unless you have a really big nest egg, it's tough on everybody.
Absolutely. It impacts all of us overall. If there's someone in the viewing audience right now, Kristina, that's perhaps 10 years away from retirement, what should they be doing right now?
Well, we all know that you cannot have a crystal ball and see into the future. I do have a crystal ball, but it's actually a paperweight in my office. That's not going to work out. But when we're talking about looking into the future, what is it that we're really truly looking for is making sure that you've saved enough to include these very important topics like inflation and volatility of the market, taxes in retirement, all of those major components. And if you are talking about inflation up front, you know that if you're 10 years away from retirement, like you just mentioned, well, inflation is going to be worse by the time you do retire. So
that's true.
Including it in your savings as we're approaching retirement and then through retirement is very important.
Is there a blueprint to follow that would say how much someone should save? Like you hear a lot of stories about, okay, take 10% of your paycheck and tuck that aside into your savings. Is it different for everyone?
It is.
I think so. I think it depends on what you want to do in retirement.
Okay.
How long do you live?
Yeah.
You don't want to outlive your money, but you also want to be able to go out and do all the things that you worked so hard to save for and do.
Okay.
So everybody's going to be different there. That's why wouldn't you want to come in and get either a first or a second opinion and let us talk to you about it, and we can come up with some ideas for you to help get you there, or if you're already in retirement, things that you can do every day that saves money so you can do what you need to do.
I love that, Rob. Thank you. Kristina, how important is it for someone to get a second opinion? If someone's in the viewing audience right now and they're not sure if they're in the right hands, if you will, how important is a second opinion?
I think a second opinion is going to be if you're missing something. For those of you out there listening, if you do not have inflation included in your current strategy, you're missing something. What are we really looking for? I want to make sure that you have, first off, the floor of everything that you need. So this is going to be a guaranteed income stream, whether it be Social Security or an annuity or a pension, something that is going to cover all of those expenses that you need, like your food, your fuel, your utilities, your insurance, all of those things that are a must-have. Then everything else that's going to be pleasure, travel or some extra gifts or maybe that extra, golf membership, whatever it may be that you're wanting in retirement, we account for those next. And when you're looking at that savings and on down the road, there is no one size fits most. For those of you that are coming in to see us, we are going to give you a complimentary copy of The Retirement Train.
I love that.
Folks, this book is fantastic. I cannot wait to share it with you. I know you're going to enjoy it as much as we do. And it goes through all of the chapters of life, and it talks about saving and what you should be saving through these chapters of life. So ever so simply, there's no one size fits most, but let's give you a couple of little rules of thumb here. We've all heard of that 4% rule, little rule of thumb. If you only spend 4%, that you'll never run out of money. Unfortunately, that does not keep pace with inflation, so that's not going to work out. Well, then what about the rule of 25? So if you need $100,000 a year of income, you want to save at least $2.5 million because that's the rule of 25. So take that income, multiply it by 25. Well, that sounds like a really big number. For most people, you're not retiring with over $1 million or $2.5 million. For some of you, you will. So where do you fall? It's going to be somewhere in between. Again, this is your strategy. It is very personal. It's a very holistic experience, making sure that we're talking about the retirement lifestyle that you want.
I love that because it is customized to each client that comes in, and that's what people love about coming in to sit with you. Well, this is the perfect time for us to open the phones. Would you both agree?
Yes, I completely agree. And for those of you out there that are thinking about inflation right now, we understand this is something that's on your mind, and we want to be here to have that discussion with you. And we do open those phone lines and we give away those meetings every single week. What are we really giving? Well, we're giving back to the community. That's what we're giving, in education and information, and we want to make sure and have this available for you.
Kristina, thank you.
Yeah.
Rob, thank you. Were you going to say another word?
No, I was just saying, when we come in, the meeting could last an hour and 2 hours long, but that doesn't mean that's it. We work tirelessly on the back end to come up with the best solutions for you.
And I love that because people have always talked about that. When they come in, they feel that you're giving them such an amazing amount of time, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, because when they come back in for that second meeting with you, they are so impressed by what you're delivering and offering them. So thank you both so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call is on your screen. That number is 877-893-5099. We know that you have a lot of questions about how to hedge through inflation right now. Kristina and Rob are offering you the complimentary consultation. All you have to do is take advantage of picking up the phone and calling in today. 877-893-5099. We're going to take a very short commercial break, but when we come back, I'm going to talk to Kristina and Rob about the go-go years. Do you know what those are? You're going to want to stay tuned. We'll be right back momentarily.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
And welcome back to Your Powerful Legacy TV. My name is 𝗵𝘃𝗲𝗃𝗲, and I'm joined today by Kristina 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃𝗃 and Rob 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃 of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. A wonderful show we're having today, talking about very important topics. Of course, we talked about inflation, but this next topic is kind of fun. We're going to talk about the go-go years of retirement. And I'm assuming, Kristina and Rob, correct if I'm wrong, but when someone first retires, they have all this energy and they want to go, go, go. Is that right?
You hit the nail on the head. This
Okay.
is my favorite thing to talk about. I'm not going to even sugarcoat that one at all, because when we're talking about those retirement years, we've got a few phases in here, and it's in the retirement train that we just mentioned as well. The go-go years, the slow-go years, then the no-go years.
Ooh.
Let's ignore those last two. Let's talk about those go-go years. Let's have
do
a good
that.
time.
So the go-go years, obviously so much energy, and I'm assuming you have a lot of people that come in with some really amazing bucket list items. Can we talk about a few of those? Kristina, any great stories, and Rob as well?
Well, absolutely. First off, not just a bucket list, but the honey-do list. It goes through the roof. And I know what you're thinking. You just want to make those changes to your home that you've not had the time for, or you're going to be spending more time there, so you want things to be comfortable. Maybe a fresh coat of paint, maybe building that hobby shop and having that hot rod, whatever it's going to be for you. Those go-go years are when you first retire, you still have the energy, you still have that spunk to get out there and travel, enjoy your family, get out there and see things that you've just been too busy doing. And I've got a couple, they are very, very dear to me. They've been my clients for a few years, and when they first came to me, both of them are physicians, so they had multiple accounts from different hospitals, and we had to streamline some things to make it a little easier for their required minimum distribution down the road. That was just the beginning of the strategy. Well, we had this time set, and the husband wanted to retire sometime in his late 70s, so the wife would be in her early 70s at that time. Everything changed. He had a massive stroke, and we had to retire them both because she had to care for him. Okay, this completely changed how things were going to be in their retirement. It's not what they wanted. And with all things being said about a strategy overall, you also have to have flexibility in your strategy because life happens. We know this is not what you want. You don't want your health to decline quickly or have some type of an emergency, but let's make sure that you're going to be able to be adaptable to that. So happily, let me share that he's been recovering very, very well. They actually have started traveling. That's something that they wanted more than anything in their retirement. And they're still in those go-go years, even though he's a little slower, and he'll admit it sometimes. They've been traveling Europe, going on a Viking cruise, just having a great time. And oh my gosh, I love hearing those stories. It's my favorite.
Oh, and what a blessing they were already working with you when that change occurred in their life that they didn't expect, because it can be very daunting if you don't know who to call. And I know people have such peace of mind knowing that you're in charge of something like that. So what a blessing that you were there.
We have another good friend, client. I mean, most of our, or all of our clients are our friends, and he calls us up with a little bit something different, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So he just got married. He retired. She didn't. Super nice guy, but they're consolidating houses.
Okay.
And he's trying to get all of this stuff out of his house and get it on the market, get it sold so he can move to her house and they could start rebuilding and doing some refresh on her house. And he came in the other day and he just had this look of exhaustion on him. He's like, I kind of want to go back to work.
Isn't that true?
Yeah. Just joking though, he is having a great time in retirement, and they're getting ready to start their bucket list, which is good to see.
Well, his retirement was extra special. I have to share this because it just absolutely melts me. But right when he was retiring, not only did they just get married, but on Father's Day, right after he retired, his first grandbaby was born. Oh, my heart. She's so cute. Of course, she's our little client too, because we're doing some legacy strategizing with them. But oh, she's so cute. He sends us pictures on a regular basis, which I just eat up. I'm not going to lie. I can't wait to just kiss her little cheeks when she comes to town.
Oh my gosh, I don't blame you. I'm in line too. I definitely would love that. So many life changes that you help people through, and that's what I love. We've talked about this in the past because obviously I think this is probably our 45th episode of the show,
yes,
which is incredibly amazing. And I just love to hear all of the different people that you've helped through the years, because they're referring friends, but also family members. Let's talk about some of the recent referrals that you've received that are multiple family generations, if you will.
It's so much fun because I'm seeing my retirees, they're sending their children and their grandchildren to us. And I don't think there's any greater pleasure than being able to service an entire family. And wow, Cynthia, we were just talking before the show, 45 episodes and more and counting. And what a blessing to have this big voice for the community, to be able to bring you this much needed information that we know you're dying to hear. And we just love being out there talking to people and hearing about your amazing lives and what you would like to do in your retirement.
Well, and I also have to brag on you both for just a little bit, because you have another feature in Tops magazine, and this is a huge honor. This is not the first time that you have been in this magazine recognized as a power couple. So I have to show the picture because I love the both of you so much, and I think that this is incredible. But this is a huge accolade, and I want to spend just a few minutes talking about it. Actually, if I could just turn it to where it needs to be. That'll help us. But look how beautiful this is. Oh my gosh, Rob and Kristina, what an honor. Let's talk a little bit about what this means to be in Tops magazine, because I know, but in case the viewers at home are wondering, this is not an easy task to be featured.
I guess one of the things behind the scene is what we're actually doing in the community. It's not necessarily just about the business, because our whole family works together. The two oldest boys, they're both licensed associates in the firm, and we have firms in Lexington and Louisville, for those of you watching from either place. And what an amazing honor it is. And to be nominated as a power couple, that's pretty awesome.
It is.
It is a very good honor. I would rather, look at the giving couple or something else. I don't look at us as a power couple. I look at us as we just try to give back. We try to make things right. We try to do right by people. And where that takes us, it's been very fortunate so far.
And I think that's important to talk about, because you both have such a serving heart. And the clients that become your clients, they become friends.
Well, they do. They call us for everything, right? So they call us if they need a plumber, if they need somebody to come in and do a home inspection, or whatever they might need. We have all kinds of connections, and we love making those connections for people.
I love that. And Kristina, I think that you're going to be offering a complimentary consultation. Should we do that before we open the phone lines?
I think that's great, but one other thing on that is that Powerful Legacy is not just us, it's our powerful partners. We do keep a CPA, a will, estate, tax attorney. We've got a Medicare supplement and property and casualty specialist. All of these people together is what makes us very powerful to be able to help you. And when I think about that, the power couple and Powerful Legacy, what is that really? It's an opportunity to give powerful information, powerful education, and powerful results.
I love that. Well, this is the perfect time for us to open up the phone lines. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. To our viewers at home, the number to call is on your screen. That number is 877-893-5099. What you're being offered today is a complimentary consultation. Rob and Kristina know that you have a lot of questions about how to deal with the retirement years, and they want to make sure that you're on the right path. If you're not on the right path, wouldn't you want to know today? They're offering you the complimentary consultation, and all you have to do to take advantage of that is pick up the phone and call in 877-893-5099. We're going to take a very short commercial break, but don't go anywhere. I have much more with Rob and Kristina when we return, and some viewer questions. So stay tuned. The next one could be yours.
When was the last time you saw your financial professional? Are you getting the most out of the strategy that was created for you? Although you've done a great job finding someone to help plan for your future, are you 100% sure that you were given the right strategy? We can help answer these questions and more with a complimentary second opinion evaluation. We will take a look at what you have in place, then help determine if you are well positioned to get the most out of your future retirement income. In the event that it is not, we can help by making suggestions and showing you how to get on the right path. You wouldn't get just one opinion when it comes to a major health decision. So why would you treat your most important financial decision with such disregard? Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation second opinion evaluation to see if you are getting the most out of your retirement income plan.
And welcome back to Your Powerful Legacy TV. My name is 𝗵𝘃𝗲𝗃, and I'm joined today by Kristina 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃 and Rob 𝗵𝘃𝗃 of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. A wonderful show we're having today, talking about important topics. Of course, inflation, and we talked about the go-go years. We have some viewer questions, but before I dive into those, I don't want to keep the viewers at home wondering if theirs is going to be answered next, because we're going to get to it in just a second. But the retirement train. Wow, let's talk about that, because I remember way back when we talked about you starting the book, and let's talk about the love that you've put into that, Kristina.
Yes, first off, my favorite thing about this book is that it's not just for someone that's talking about retirement, it's for every stage of life. Don't let the title fool you. Even though we're talking about the retirement train, what do you need to do to get on that? The very first chapter, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, every chapter is a stop. So the first chapter being 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, 0 to 20 years old. What should you be doing? What could you be doing? What mistakes have you made? And what can you do to remedy those and make your life on track for retirement? And when I think about one of my favorite parts of the retirement train, it's that I personally have made mistakes, and I've watched mistakes happen and what to do to correct them. One of the most important things when you do make a mistake, as far as something financial or even something physical, emotional, spiritual, any of those things, first off is to admit that you've made a mistake and find a solution to correct that. The admittance of that and getting it remedied. And I don't think that there's anything more humbling than when you realize financially you're not going to be able to make it, and you've got to do something to make some adjustments. And the retirement train is a guide through every stage of life. What can you do to get back on track? And when I started writing the book, I dedicated it to a woman who's given me so much information in my life, my 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃𝗃. She's a great human being. She's so sweet, isn't she?
She is. Oh my gosh.
But she's also the boss. I mean, she's awesome. I love it. We love this.
The apple doesn't fall too far either.
You know.
Well, it is what it is.
Stay the same.
Strong, powerful woman right there.
We love it, yes. And just something for everybody. That's the part I think that is the essence of the retirement train and the essence of my career. Something for everyone. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to help you. And there's no greater blessing than being able to serve others.
Most definitely. And I love the story behind the book, because this actually was inspired by a couple that was on the train. And let's talk a little bit about that. There was something about a ticket that wasn't purchased. Can we talk about that for just a moment?
Yes, it's so silly. I know for those of you out there that have come and visit us in our office, you know that my husband and I work together every day, and the two oldest boys. So we do keep all the bickering behind closed doors. Don't worry about that one. But I was actually listening to a couple bicker a little bit. I was on a train ride in Juneau, Alaska.
Okay.
And they had these old, like, church pew wooden seats that were very uncomfortable.
Picture that.
And the couple that was beside and just back one row from me, they were kind of arguing because they didn't buy the Premier View ticket. And you know, the husband kind of made a comment, well, there's a lot of things I could have done different in my life. And it got me thinking on that train ride.
Yeah.
What could I do differently in life? What are some things I could do to make better? What are those mistakes that I've heard, and what can we do to remedy those and be on track? And it just got me thinking, and there it was. And the train ride through those different stages of life, every stage of life is so important.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's wonderful to watch, but think about this for just a second. The last stage of life could be 20, 30, 40 years, depending on when you retire.
That's true.
That's a really big deal. Most people spend more time retired than they actually do being a parent or working, which are other very important pieces. And then you get the pleasure of your spouse the whole time through that.
That's right.
That's great stuff.
And for the book, don't get us wrong, and we hear this all the time, we got to let our kids and our grandkids make their own mistakes. Why? Why do we do that? We have information, we have guidance through their lives. let's help guide them. That's our jobs as grandparents, as parents, is to guide your children and grandchildren through life.
Yeah.
They don't have to take it, but at least they have that information there, and it's in this book. Everything you need is in this book.
I love it. It's a great book, and it's an easy read, and when I'm reading it, I can hear you speaking, Kristina, which I really, really love. Well, we do have a couple of viewer questions. I don't want to make anyone angry in the viewing audience.
Great.
I'm going to dive right in. So this is a great question that came in. It says, Rob and Kristina, I don't want to lose money in the market, so I have all of it in CDs. Is that a good idea? What is another option to protect my money but have earnings on interest?
I don't think this is just a viewer. I think she's coming to the office. We've got a lady that she has $8 million sitting in CDs.
Wow.
What?
8 million?
She's losing her money safely. I mean, it's just sitting there.
Yes. Aren't they like certificate of disappointment or something? I think that's what they're supposed to be called.
That's a great reference. I've not heard that one before. I mean, everything does have its place, and I do enjoy listening about your life story and why you made those decisions that you did. But we did start to make a movement. There is a better way. There's a better way to protect the principal of your money, have access to your money, and also to make sure that it's going to do exactly what you want it to without it just being placed. CDs, my sister works at a bank, so I'm going to pick on my sister for just a second. She calls them a one-trick pony. They only do one thing. They earn very little.
That's great. That is cute. Well, that's an excellent answer. So let me ask you, this is the next question from a viewer, and it says, what do I need to bring to have a meeting with you? Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, everything in the kitchen sink.
Okay.
So if 401ks, 403bs, any kind of annuity statements, life insurance policies, your monthly bills, your mortgages, anything that you have that is of financial value or of financial consequence that you're paying out, we need to know. You need to bring that in. Let us look it over. Let us give you some advice, and we go from there.
Well, we won't leave you hanging. Our staff's going to send an email. Our staff is waiting to take your call, and they'll get you set up here in the next week or two for a complimentary consultation. Folks, I want to be crystal clear about this. You're not coming in to be sold anything. You're coming in to be told. You're coming in to get information. Ever so simply, you're going to keep this information. It doesn't cost you a thing. And I'm hearing folks go into other firms that it's quite expensive.
Yeah. Kristina and Rob, thank you so much for another amazing episode this week. To our viewers at home specifically, we want to thank you for spending time with us today. That number to call is 877-893-5099. You're being offered a complimentary consultation. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call in. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you back here 1 week from today on Your Powerful Legacy TV with Rob and Kristina.